Greetings, everybody, from downtown St. Louis, where tonight we have some high clouds rolling overhead, and that's pretty much it. Outside of that, it's a pretty quiet night, and it was a pretty decent day, a little above average across the region temperature-wise. We topped out close to that 50-degree mark. Now, because we just have high clouds rolling in tonight, just those high thin clouds, that's not enough to really keep temperatures up that much now that winds have died down. So we're already dropping back into the 30s. Officially in the record books for your Wednesday, 49 the high, 28 was the low. Those numbers end up a bit above average, but nowhere near the records for this day. Wasn't that long ago, 2017, when we were at 74 degrees for the high. Guess it seems longer now than it really, or it seems closer than it really is. Now, that's 9 years ago. All right, quiet into Friday night weather-wise. Showers are going to arrive on Saturday, especially going south of St. Louis. Some of us are going to get some decent rain Saturday late in the day into Saturday night. The heaviest rain definitely looks like it stays south of St. Louis, but it may flirt with parts of the metro area before the weekend is done. We won't have that problem tonight, just a few of those high clouds drifting overhead. Skies otherwise partly cloudy, and your winds are light, so probably a bit of a frosty start for us again tomorrow morning. Upper 20s outlying areas, around 30 or so, 32 in town. And then temperatures will warm pretty quickly tomorrow. We go back into the lower 50s tomorrow afternoon. Mix of sun and clouds. Winds aren't terribly strong. We out of the southeast at about 10 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. But if you're working outside, in the scheme of things for the month of February, tomorrow's actually a pretty decent day. And look at this. As we go through the rest of this weekend and next week, we have warmer temperatures on the way. The one day that's the coolest out of the next 7, Saturdays, when our clouds are thicker and where we have that rainfall potential. And some of that's going to be a bit higher south of St. Louis, that rainfall will. And that also means you'll probably, the areas that have more of a steady rain, struggle to get much above 50 degrees if you can. But Friday looks good, 58. Sunday's looking good, 58. Long weekend for a lot of folks. Monday is President's Day, and we're back in the 60s, and we'll still be in the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. Why are we getting warm? Well, the jet stream's dipping here out to the west, and of course, as it dips down out to the west, the other thing it's doing is we have lots of energy that's kind of spinning out here. You can just see the spin in the atmosphere there way off the Pacific coast, another area there coming on shore right around San Francisco. And then you look farther north and west, look at that monster of a storm heading up towards southern and southeastern portions of Alaska. Eventually, all of this kind of just carves out a really unsettled pattern going into next week, which periodically brings us some rain chances. The first of which should be as we go into later on Saturday. All of the tracks for this system from the various models, all of the options that have been presented to us so far are for a southern track, which puts St. Louis on the northern shield of what would be considered, substantial rain, maybe a half an inch or more. But the odds of seeing the higher amounts definitely increase as you go south of St. Louis. Perhaps some places in southern Missouri, southern Illinois, northern Arkansas, down here towards the Boot Heel, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, maybe some of those spots see more than an inch of rain. We probably are not going to see the half-inch to 1-inch widespread amounts in the metro. That should be south of St. Louis, but it flirts with us. And you can see that here as we go into Saturday. It really starts trying to build in during the morning. Again, the northern shield of this battles some dry air, so there's no guarantee you get a lot of rain as you go north and northeast of St. Louis. But as we go down towards Ironton, Annapolis, Centerville, Lesterville, back towards Viburnum, and down towards Knob Lick, and in towards Farmington, St. Genevieve, probably up to Valley Mines, maybe Crystal City, this is where you're starting to pick up some of those more moderate showers going into Saturday afternoon and into early Saturday evening. So if it is this far north, that would put St. Louis in the wet weather by dinner time on Saturday. Why is that important? Well, Saturday's Valentine's Day. So yes, it is a concern if you have plans. Right now we're going with a 50-50 shot of seeing decent rain in St. Louis. If you go farther south of St. Louis, I think we're up to 70 or 80% odds of seeing pretty good rain down towards Farmington, St. Genevieve, Perryville, over to Mount Vernon, Sparta, and then back out towards Rolla. But that's really our only truly unsettled day, at least into early next week. Now, the end of next week, there's still questions about when the front comes through Wednesday into Thursday And if there's enough energy, if enough moisture gets pulled ahead of it to where we're going to have the potential for some showers and thunderstorms. You know, it's not out of the question, but right now, the signals point to that system staying farther south of us. And, you know, we enjoy a really nice President's Day and then a nice Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Again, the heaviest rain, that potential expected to be more substantial rain farther south of St. Louis versus in the metro area and going north. So if you've got to put down a line somewhere, generally along and north of Interstate 70, lighter rainfall amounts this weekend. The farther south you go from St. Louis and the farther south you end up from the metro area, the higher those rainfall tallies are expected to be. And Saturday is your really one day where it's wet. That's the coolest day. Look at Sunday up to 58 degrees. And again, Monday is a holiday. Monday is President's Day, 63. That's pretty nice. By the way, Friday, you can help us out. Join us at participating area Hardee's. I'll be at the one along 44 and Hampton as we heat up St. Louis. We're going to give a gift. We're going to help a neighbor. It is Rise and Shine for Heat so that we can raise some big bucks for Heat Up St. Louis so they can keep doing what they're doing in keeping our seniors especially able to afford heat and electricity and the gas bill, the utility bills. They're out there doing that every day, and all that money that's raised on Friday goes straight back right out the door to somebody in need.